Picture this. You're pregnant, far from home, and in need of urgent medical care. You walk into a doctor's office expecting compassion, but instead you're met with disgust. A doctor refuses to treat you, not because of your health, not because of your appointment, but because of the color of your skin. But here's the twist. What that doctor didn't know was that the woman he insulted wasn't just any patient. Her husband was the state attorney, a man with the power to end careers with a single signature. Before we dive in, hit that like button and let us know where you're watching from. It always amazes us how far these stories travel. Grace Williams was 30 years old, strong, intelligent, and 8 months pregnant. She wasn't flashy or arrogant. She was a woman of quiet strength, the kind who turned heads with her kindness more than her appearance. She was in Arizona for work, away from her usual doctor back home, but she never missed her antenatal checkups. Her baby's safety meant everything. So she booked an appointment online with one of the state's most renowned gynecologists, Dr. Richard Matthews. Grace walked into that hospital with hope, not knowing she was about to step into the lion's den. Dr. Richard Matthews was a man in his late 50s, gray hair slicked back, expensive watch under his coat. To the public, he was respected. But behind that polished exterior was arrogance and prejudice. He believed not everyone deserved his care. Grace knocked softly and stepped into his office. "Good morning, Dr. Matthews," she said warmly. He looked up from his desk, his expression tightening the moment his eyes landed on her. He didn't reply, just a dismissive shrug. "I have an appointment with you today, booked online," Grace said, showing her phone. Matthews leaned back, smirking. "An appointment? I think you're mistaken." Grace showed him the confirmation. His eyes narrowed. Then, with chilling bluntness, he said, "I don't treat people like you." Grace froze. She knew exactly what he meant, but she pressed calmly. "What do you mean, doctor?" He leaned forward, his tone dripping with venom. "My expertise is meant solely for humans. If you want treatment, try the free clinic down the street. Maybe they'll have you." Grace's heart sank, but she stayed calm. She quietly pressed record on her phone inside her purse. "Doctor, I came here for a routine antenatal check. I don't understand why you—" He cut her off sharply. "Because people like you waste my time. You don't belong in this office, and you never will. Now leave before I call security." Grace gathered her things silently. She walked out with dignity, but she had something priceless, his words, captured forever. That evening, Grace sat across from her husband, David Williams, the state attorney. Calm, composed, but with fire in his eyes, David was a man feared in courtrooms, respected in communities, and never one to let injustice slide. Grace slid her phone across the table. "Listen," David pressed play. For 5 minutes, he sat in silence, his jaw tightening with every word. When it ended, his voice was low but deadly serious. "He said that to you? To my wife? To the mother of my child?" Grace nodded softly. "I didn't want to make a scene, but I couldn't just let it go." David leaned back, eyes burning. "Good, because now his career is over." The very next morning, black SUVs pulled up in front of the hospital. Cameras flashed, reporters swarmed, and walking at the center was David Williams, backed by investigators and aides. Inside, the hospital board was in an emergency meeting. The recording was played, Grace's calm voice, Matthew's venomous replies. The room fell silent. Nurses whispered in disgust. Board members shifted uncomfortably. Reporters scribbled furiously. And there sat Dr. Matthews, pale, sweating, his arrogance draining into fear. By the end of the meeting, the verdict was clear. His medical license revoked. Hospital privileges terminated. Investigations launched. His reputation destroyed. The video went viral. Communities were outraged. Former patients came forward with stories of their own. Matthew's name, once respected, became a symbol of disgrace. Within weeks, lawsuits buried him. His mansion went up for sale. His colleagues vanished. And the man who once looked down on others was now shunned, disgraced, and forgotten. Grace, now safely under the care of a compassionate doctor, smiled at her next checkup, holding her husband's hand. Justice had been served. This story is a powerful reminder. Prejudice carries consequences. Arrogance has an expiration date. And the person you dismiss today may be the very one holding your future tomorrow. If this story gave you chills, hit that like button and drop a comment telling us where you're watching from. We love seeing these stories connect across the world. And don't forget to subscribe for more real stories that prove justice always finds its way.